they actually went and did it. The day of reckoning has come, all of our hopes and dreams realised. Finally, Operations is now in the server browser in Battlefield 1. I can't believe you've done this. So there's a lot going on with Battlefield right now, whether it's incursions or the future roadmap or new DLC, or even, as you may have noticed, the new patch that's just been released today. And we're going to go through all of it in this new video. There's a load of news and information to digest. But just before we get stuck in, I'd like to tell you guys about my Discord server. It's been going a couple of months now and we've built up a great community. In fact, I've been playing some PUBG with people on there recently and we've had some great games together. Also later on tonight, I'll be dropping some best community in the world dog tag codes for Battlefield 1 in the general chat. So if you're interested in joining the Discord, it is totally free to sign up and you can find it over at discord.gg/jackfrags. Beautiful, come join in, it's going to be a blast. So back to Battlefield, let's start with the future of BF1. But to do that, we need to touch on the past. Battlefield is 15 years old and as such, players logging in between the 12th and the 16th of October can get a hold of 2 new anniversary dog tags. Expect some double XP thrown in there for good measure as well. And if I remember correctly, on the live stream last night they announced that double XP is even going to be running on BF3, BF4 and BF Hardline 2. Thanks a bunch by the way guys for the tremendous reaction to my back to BF4 video. Had some great comments, loads of thumbs up on that video, loads of views and just a good wholesome reaction from my viewers, and I really appreciate that. And as such, I'll definitely be doing some more Battlefield 4 videos because you guys really seem to like watching that stuff. So I'm actively putting together some new BF4 videos to upload them. Now, in BF1 in November, we are getting something called Operation Campaigns, and this involves combining multiple operations into one, with the first one being Eastern Storm. This particular offensive combines the two in the name of the Tsar operations, Brusilov Offensive and Red Tide into one. After that, we'll get Fall of Empires, which combines Iron Walls and Conquer Hell. And while these operations are running, if you score enough points before it expires, you'll earn a special battle pack. Complete it as many times as you can before the time runs out on the campaign that you're playing. And in a fantastic turn of events, like I said at the start, Operations is now in the server browser, something that's been requested for such a long time, and now it's been added. It's going to make it much easier to join an operation that you want to play, which is great. So hopefully no more empty lobbies. That being said, to make sure that servers are as full as possible and players can find games, DICE is stopping the availability of 40-man operations completely, and this is a big disappointment for me because I actually think that 40-player operations are actually the better balanced and more fun of the two, but now only 64-player operations will be available. 40 players I think just gives it that room to breathe a bit, and it enables you to be a bit more tactical and get away from some of that explosive spam. But there we have it, 40-player operations are now gone, 64-player operations are all that's available, but you can now find them in the server browser, which is fantastic. And then of course, in December, we get the next Battlefield DLC called Turning Tides. The third expansion has a huge focus on naval warfare. It introduces the British Royal Marines as well as 2 new operations, the Zeebrugge Raid and the Gallipoli Offensive. From what's been shown so far in screenshots and concept art, it looks fantastic. New vehicles, new weapons, also maybe a grappling hook that this guy is carrying on his hip, and all in all, it looks very impressive. December can't come soon enough and I'm looking forward to playing this very soon. So how about that patch that I mentioned? Well, we all had a base game update to Vanilla BF1 today, and mostly it consisted of bug fixes, but there are a few notable changes here. One of the biggest ones for me personally is added a separate key binding for the bayonet charge. I love that change. You also can now have a press or hold option for it as well in the options, and I know a lot of people wanted it on a separate key because sometimes you would sprint towards someone that you wanted to just melee, but you would accidentally bayonet charge and look like a right fool. This should help solve that. Also in the graphics options, you can now turn off film grain completely and also chromatic aberration. And the motion blur slider, it was bugged apparently, and now if you put it on 0% it will actually completely disable motion blur. So if you want the clearest gameplay experience, I would turn motion blur, chromatic aberration and film grain off completely. There's also been a few changes to the specializations. Apparently some of them were bugged in getting them, but the concealed rescue specialization has had a small change to it. It will no longer automatically deploy a smoke on a downed teammate when you're playing as a medic and you get in range, but instead it's going to deploy one when the squad mate is spotted. So I think that allows you to be a little bit more tactical with it. Apparently all of the extra smoke that was being generated was quite expensive on the server, so with this change hopefully the game should run just a little bit smoother. So that's what's happening in and around Battlefield now in the vanilla game, and in the next few months there's going to be a load of game updates, but something bigger of course is incursions. The competitive mode is coming along nicely and it's getting regular updates. Now the next thing that I'm going to talk about is really interesting to me, and I hope it's something that can make it to the base game as well, because it's a lighting change and I think this is very important. It's experimental right now of course in incursions, but it aims to improve the lighting all across the board to aid player visibility. And this is a tough one to balance definitely, because the devs want the game to look its best obviously, while also creating gameplay that suits a competitive environment, and in that environment players want to have the best visibility. So looking at this new lighting that they've released screenshots for, it seems a lot easier to spot outside of buildings, and more importantly looking into buildings thanks to a reduction in the bloom. Inside buildings and barns are also much far brighter now, making it easier to see enemies. These sort of improvements make a huge difference in gameplay. You wouldn't think it, but it actually does, and I think it's great to see that the incursions team are thinking about these sort of things, and I'd love to see some of those lighting changes come to the vanilla game once they've completely ironed them out. And finally today, another great improvement here. If any of you guys have been trying to unlock the new rifle or doing the specializations that require tripwire bomb kills, you'll probably know how annoying they are to get. Mainly because if someone's on 100 health and they trigger your tripwire bomb but don't die, you're not going to get an assist counts as kill if somebody kills them, and of course it's not going to do enough damage to kill them in the first place. But in the latest patch, the tripwire HE blast damage has been increased to guarantee an assist counts as kill against someone using the flak perk. So I think that's a great change, and it's definitely going to make those specializations and weapon unlocks a little bit easier, because I think it's fair to say that a lot of those are incredibly frustrating. And that's about all of the main points that I wanted to cover in this video, guys. Let me know your thoughts down in the comments below. As always, thank you so much for watching. Remember, come check out my Discord if you're interested in that. discord.gg/jackfrags. If you enjoyed the video, subscribe for more, and I'll see you in the next one.